he reminded me, this one I took. And I was plugging away at, doing these, actually a little bit of the story with the North Country Trail is, I had been doing it for a couple of years, just doing it, and I remember driving by, I would see the brown sign. And it's like one of those things, when you drive by, and maybe your kids will make fun of you, saying, duh, Mom, it's always been there. And so I began to explore what the North Country Trail was, and it was when I I don't know how I ended up coming to some meeting or getting into this whole group here.
Rotary.
Was what?
I told you about it at Rotary.
Yes. Yeah.
You invited me to that.
And then there was this challenge going on, and of course he was explaining what that was about and how to get involved with and who I'd be up against. And I said, well, I don't know if I want to do that. He goes, yeah you do. But I think just to bring in some new insight and always bring in somebody fun and or different, it brings in that excitement of new blood, I guess. Anyway, so I was plugging away with a lot of these trails. Being in Middleville, you have a lot of that goes by there, and my mother lives down, that it goes down in the way, so every time I go see my mom, I could do Marshall or Albion, kind of going back down in that way. And so it was really fun to plug away. But one time I was up, it had to be Highway 10. I'm trying to remember. And I'm always notorious for kind of picking something that I think I'll get back in time. And I always kind of do it just like kind of by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So, but I was doing it, and I got to where my phone wouldn't work very well because of where we're at. And then I, for a while, was tracking it, because on the app you could do the tracking of it, but it would suck, all my battery use. And so that, I decided to have not doing that. So I wanted to go back at this end of the trail that I had done, and I wanted to go check in. It was just always kind of fun to do that. And that was saying, I check in, I finished here, and I'll pick back up. So I went all the way back and got in my car, and I went down the road, and there was this 2-track. And I don't know, there was something about going back there that I was really brave about doing it, and there was a lot of sand.
What time was this?
And yeah, that's the critical part. It was dark, and because I got back to the car in time, and it was evening, and I'm up where there's really hardly any cell usage, and it just, sometimes I just don't think that way. And I went back in there to check in, and I said, I saw that all that sand, and I go, I can do it. So I went roaring through, and when you don't hesitate, you do it. And you don't turn, yeah, I know, sometimes. And if you don't turn your wheels, or if you don't put the stop on it. So I get through, I went in and checked in, and I'm going way back in there, for sometimes I think I'm in a Jeep or a Bronco or something, but I think at the time I had my Grand Van and not my Subaru. But coming out, I hesitated and got right in the middle of that sand. And I couldn't even dig out the sand. I mean, I'm stuck in there. So I was barely able to get through to a friend. So I was kind of getting through to auto service to come and get me, to tow me out. And that wasn't working very well. So I was doing a friend, and I'm, and you can't run your car all the time. You got to be really careful and make sure that all that goes with it. But finally, at midnight, we were able to he said I could be there in an hour or something, because he was way over, I don't know, Big Rapids, or I don't even know where it was. But he finally came and pulled me out with his truck, and of course, what are you doing back here, But one thing I remember though too, how eerie it was, that if I was camping I would never have that eeriness. But there was something about being stuck in a car that just seemed weird or something. But anyway, that I probably would more classify as stupid. Yeah.
I tried to go on the beach of Lake Michigan on my date, my wife, and we went in the sand and got stuck. And I jacked up the rear of the car, had an old army tent, I took and put under the wheels, and I got out.
To get out, yeah,
But after a half hour, of
right. No, I
course.
was,
Watching the
I was,
submarines on Lake Michigan.
I was at the Mercy, and then I was fortunate to be able to get through to somebody, cause I would've had to, well, stay in the car and then walk out. And then I did go and take my car to be checked for something that something on regular maintenance. And the guy's going, what happened to your oil pan? So the thing had shifted because of me trying, to rock it out and all that type of thing. So it got a little bit of an expensive, 8-mile hike or whatever it was. Thank you.